I'm back with another triggering topic. Now, I'm going to show y'all this clip, and then hopefully, after y'all watch the clip and I break it down, we can really understand why we're having this gender war right now it's really between men and women in general, but more specifically, what I'm talking about is the gender war that's going on between black men and black women. But y'all just watch this clip, please, and I'll be right back.
Black men do not hate black women. The fact that y'all actually believe that we hate y'all because we criticize y'all is beyond me. The only reason why black men are unsubscribing from black women in general is because y'all had that same attitude. Like, why do y'all want us to provide and protect and chase y'all when y'all degrade us? Y'all put us down. Y'all talk bad about us. Y'all literally make black men feel like we this tall. Black women do not know how to follow. Y'all have an identity crisis. Y'all feel like being a lady, doing things that ladies do, make you feel like less of a person, right? Y'all say, well, being married to a man is like being a slave.
Now, I want to say that this man said a lot more in his video, but for time's sakes, and so the video wasn't too long, I did chop it down. But let me say this before I begin. I really do want to try to explain this gender war situation in the nicest way possible, because I'm not trying to cause a further rift between black women and black men, but I really feel like this has got to be addressed. And maybe if I explain it in a way as to not be offensive, maybe it can reach somebody. So let me address the first thing that he said in the video. He said that black women think that black men hate them because they criticize them. And I really think that that's a huge dismissal and oversimplification of why black women feel the way they feel. And I say what I'm about to say not to put this on the shoulders of all black men or the man that made this video, because there are black men who love black women out loud, but this is directed to the black men that have this man's thinking. Now, first of all, black women have been known to be unprotected since before the man that made this video and I were born. So let's be clear about that. Let's not act like we don't know why black women may possibly feel hated or criticized or unprotected. Let's not act like other races of women aren't being and haven't been being put on a pedestal as superior strictly by black men. That's the first insult that other races of women hit black women with off the jump, because everyone knows that this is a problem in our community. Now, that's the first issue that's causing the divide or the rift or the lack of black women not putting black men on the pedestal the way that they feel they deserve currently in the generation that we're in. And we can't pretend that black women do the same thing, because the numbers say that they don't. And the stats prove that black women don't. Now, then he said that black women are degrading black men and making them feel small. Now, let's not act like that there isn't and hasn't been a music genre created in my generation specifically catered to degrading black women. And now it has evolved and became more, I guess I could say, women or black women friendly. But let's be clear. Dre, Snoop, Too Short, Luke, others, their music was centered around degrading black women specifically. Because if it was any other race of women that they were degrading, that music form would have never been allowed to gain mainstream popularity. So let's be clear here. So we have an entire genre of music that was strictly started to degrade black women. You give me a genre of music that was strictly started to degrade black men, and I don't want to hear anything about no Meg Thee Stallion or Nicki Minaj, because we know that that's not the same. I'm talking about an art form of women made by women that began decades ago, where women used the imagery and vulgar messages towards black men as nothing but being used for sexual purposes and just dogging them out. Now let's talk about criticism. Now, you're saying that criticism is talking about, hey, black women need to get some more education, or they need to stop being incarcerated, or they need to do better with their kids, things like that. Okay, cool. That's criticism. But criticism is not saying you don't like black women's hair, their bodies, their attitudes, their children, their way of living. You don't like every single solitary thing about them. That isn't criticism. That's hatred. Not to mention, when all of the things that you say that you don't like about black women, you will, however, accept in another race with no problem. Now, he also mentioned that black women don't want to be ladies or do the things that ladies do, and they believe that being married is like a slave. First of all, let's be real here. That isn't a black woman thing. That's a woman thing. That's a general consensus from a lot of women now, because their men or their husbands are not putting in an equal effort in marriages, and a lot of women are doing all the work, and now women would rather avoid that if they can. So let's not do that. Then he said that black women were putting down black men and making them feel small, as if black men have not started the whole idea that respecting the black woman or treating her with respect was weak or simping. So it's like all of these things that you're putting on black women are merely a mirror to what you as the men or as the leaders or as the so-called providers and protectors have been doing. And I really wish that you have to understand there's a causation to these issues that are happening, these gender wars. I'm not saying that there aren't women that are upset with black men. I'm not saying that there aren't black women that say things about black men. All I'm saying is, if you want to track it, because everything right has a beginning, anything that's happened has started because of something, right? So if you really want to be logical about it, you have to think, where did it start from? Did it start from women just going in on men? Or where did it start from? And if you really want to be honest and look in the mirror and take accountability, you know that this didn't start with black women. It didn't. And any thinking man, if you look at the men in history, they will let you know that it didn't start with black women. You can go to a million documentaries from the 50s, the 60s, and 70s that will tell you that it's not black women. But for some reason, everybody likes to play crazy like they don't remember. So all I'm getting here is that these type of men pretend that they don't know why they get an attitude from black women or why black women don't want to follow. You have a community of black men that are getting incarcerated. They're having multiple baby mamas and cheating on women and not being with them and being the race of men that's the least married and the least likely to marry the mother of their children. They're working the least out of all groups of men, and their women are the only ones that work more than them. They have the highest forms of domestic violence. And you're telling me that you want to criticize the women that are doing better instead of taking care of your backyard first. And then you're wondering why you're not getting a good response from black women. That doesn't make sense. Honestly, that's truly why the gender war is happening. And I wish people could understand it. It's like, if I'm 750 pounds, right, and I see somebody in the corner that's 200 pounds, right, and I'm telling them, hey, this is how you got to do it, how you got to work out, how you got to diet, how you got to do all this, of course that person is going to get irritated. Why wouldn't they? Because I have no room to talk, right? And that's in a nutshell why the gender war is happening. And I don't say that to be mean. I don't say that to make it like it's every single solitary black man, but that is the bottom line and the root cause. And I honestly believe that a lot of these black men, I think they know what's going on, but they want to put that behavior onto black women because they need someone to blame. They need a scapegoat, and they know they can't scapegoat the white woman without repercussions, and they definitely can't scapegoat the white man. And since black people are at the bottom of society, and black women are actually underneath black men, then that's the only likely target. But y'all let me know what y'all think down below.